What's up, guys? Preseason, week one, and Tanner McKee balled out. Now, it's preseason, so we shouldn't be freaking out. But I wanted to get a video in, just get myself back in the rhythm. And he did it against starters. Now, they were the Bengals starters, so they're not awesome, but they're starters, and he had backups. So it's not like he was sitting behind that stalwart Eagles line throwing to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He was making it happen with less talent. Look, I don't think Tanner McKee is going to be the next superstar, and I'm not sure he's a franchise quarterback, but I think he could be a bridge starter. And frankly, I think that's more than the Eagles have in Jalen Hurts. Now, you have to account for the fact that Jalen Hurts is really well liked in the locker room, but if Jalen Hurts misses time, I think the Eagles get better without him. Now, that's a lot to say off of just one half of a preseason game, but this is what I thought out of college too. Check out the eval. Without further ado, let's get down to the film. For those of you who are new here, this chart kind of explains what I'm looking for and how I grade these plays. And at the end, I'm going to throw everything into a spreadsheet in beautiful Kelly green and white that shows you exactly how McKee graded out on this scale. You want to learn more about how that scale gets put together? Hit the video in the link above. I explain everything with examples. But for now, let's get to the film. McKee's first throw of the game is going to be 2nd and 6. Just hits a nice 12-yard out. Really nice. Good placement, but it was the first read. Not that difficult. While we don't have the All-22, as I mentioned previously, preseason film from the broadcast angle is actually pretty good. They usually zoom out a little bit so you get to see more of the field, and they give you great replays. So here we can see on the line, Jahan Dotson is the Z. He's split out on the outside, but it's a bunch formation, so he's real tight up on that slot receiver, allowing him a free release, because 28, this corner, he can't press, right? He's 7 yards off the line, and you get, the extra 2 yards because, well, Dotson's the Z, not the X. So you've got a solid 10 yards of cushion here to get into your route, start setting the corner up. And the linebacker or the slot defender, I'm not sure which, he runs with Smith into the middle, allowing just a ton of space, really well designed, very simple play. First read is Dotson. Dotson's open, puts the ball right on him, good placement. Allows Dotson to turn upfield and try to get some yak. You can put the ball a little further outside to try to make the catch easier, but when there's that much space, it doesn't matter, and you'd rather get the yak. After another first down run a little bit later in the drive, we're going to hit Dotson again. Dotson runs a really nice route. I mean, look at that sell job, and this is what I mean by the broadcast is a little wider. You can see all the way to the safeties. So you see 3 steps, fake like he's going to the corner, hit back in that slant, but still in time on the play. That's really good route running. That's the stuff that gets you excited about Jahan Dotson as a Z or a slot. I think he can have a big year this year to the extent that the Eagles throw the ball. Problem being, Jalen Hurts doesn't really maximize passing yardage for anyone. After some really nice runs by Jordan Shipley, the Eagles get down to the 1-yard line, and new resolution. In 2025, I'm not grading tush push or QB sneak runs because I think that kind of proves anybody can do it, right? That's the starting defense for the Bengals with the backup offensive line of the Eagles, and that has nothing to do with Tanner McKee being a uniquely powerful guy. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So, second drive after the Bengals starting offense, Jamar Chase scores a touchdown to take the lead again. That's some aggression from Tanner McKee, and I don't love this ball. Now, it is, I think it's Johnny Wilson is his name. He's like 6'8", he's tallest receiver in the league. He's out of FSU. He's got inconsistent hands. He's up against a 5'11" corner, so there's a huge size mismatch. So throwing the ball up in a jump ball situation is pretty smart by McKee. That's what you want. But the ball's poorly placed. It's way underthrown. It's not high enough either. This ball should be another, honestly, if this ball's upfield and hits Smith or Wilson in stride, that could be a big play. As it stands, it's fine. That being said, you give the defender way too much access to the ball. And if this is a better corner, sure, maybe McKee doesn't throw a jump ball against a better corner, but if this is a better corner, that ball's at least knocked down, and there's even a small chance of a pick. It's a good idea to throw a jump ball to Wilson because he's gigantic. I thought that the ball was underthrown, and as we can see here, like, there's just way too much Cincinnati hand on that ball. I like the next play a lot better. Some play action. McKee needs to buy time because, well, the routes haven't opened up yet, right? It's play action. It takes a little longer. They're trying to take a shot here. His right tackle gets pushed right back into his lap, so he wants to step up into the pocket, realizes there is no pocket, and creates a new one. While running, makes an off-platform good throw, 15 yards downfield. Is the receiver very covered? No, not at all. But that's not the point. He manipulated the pocket well, and he made a pretty decent throw out to the outside. That requires some, relative arm talent. Good throw, solid. I would hope that first-round pick Myles Murphy is dominating a backup tackle like that. But I'm impressed that McKee handled the pressure. Nothing to it, just a little routine throw to the running back. I really like Jordan Shipley. Now, here's a play where I really think on 3rd and 5 we could get into McKee's processing. Now, he steps up into the pocket. That's good management, right? That's what you want to do. But where should he be going with the ball? It's hard for me to tell. 89, I believe that's Wilson. He's on a drag. It doesn't look like he's got enough separation that he's going to get the line to gain. Maybe he makes it 4th and short and you can go for it, but I understand McKee looking towards the bottom of the screen where you have the routes past the sticks. Good job extending the play, rolling out. Don't know where you're supposed to go with the ball, and I can't see if the receivers come open. Now, it looks like he finds Grant Calcaterra. That's a pretty catchable ball. 10 yards downfield. That's a solid throw. I would like to get more of the processing from this play. I think I could evaluate better on all 22, but I think it's pretty safe to say that's 2+ pocket movements and a solid throw that was just dropped. So after 2 really good drives, the Eagles get the ball again, only down 4. And look, this is an ugly duckling, and I mean a duckling. Like, look at that thing wobble in the air. Not a beautiful spiral. Not the most arm talent, right? That's not Tanner McKee's game. He's got a lot of touch and accuracy, and he's fairly smart pre-snap, but he's not a great arm talent. That being said, this ball is higher. Remember last time when he threw the jump ball to Wilson and I said, I just wish it was higher. I don't like all that Cincinnati hand on the ball. Much better here. Again, you lead him upfield, that might be a bigger play, but 30-yard gains are always nice. Now, one of my knocks on McKee coming out of Stanford, who I actually really liked coming out of Stanford, I thought that he was right there with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and Will Levis as being a low-end starter. The pocket management's not great, and this is a bad sack, right? You've got 2 receivers right around the line of scrimmage in the middle of the field. You could throw the ball to, I believe that's 29. No, it's 20. Yeah, you could throw the ball to 29, and he's got a natural kind of crease here. Right, like if you throw the ball here, you can set up blocks, and you can just kind of follow that upfield. And that's kind of nice. Or, I mean, hell, you could just hit the drag across the middle. Instead, McKee waits. He doesn't like what he's seeing. He's not seeing it quickly enough. The ball should be out right here, right? This is where you hit 82 in the middle, and he runs. Or you slip it down to 29, and he uses 82 as a blocker to see what he can get. But by now, it's already too late. There's guys closing in. That's a bad sack. That's on McKee. He tries to do a nice little spin move to buy himself more time and give himself another chance, but it's over. So on 3rd and 20, they check it down. And McKee does a nice job to get the ball out while taking a hit, but who cares? It's versus backups on 3rd and 20. You couldn't find a more meaningless play. All right, next drive. Probably your last drive before half. It wasn't. And McKee makes a throw that I needed to watch a few times. So I've paused it here. It's a nice little bootleg. Good job to get the ball off with a defender in your face. Pause. Speaking of pause, I'm still framing it so that you can see that the ball actually does hit the Eagles receiver in the face between the hands, which means it was accurate. But I'm still grading it a bad throw because that black and orange flash is a man running full speed to decapitate the receiver. And even though the ball was accurately thrown, it was a bad decision because there's no way your receiver catches this ball. Let's watch it at full speed. I mean, he just gets creamed. And to the extent he doesn't get creamed, there's hands or helmets on the ball. Like, that's not a very good decision. So while McKee's accuracy stays untarnished, his decision-making cost him there. Here we got a nice little routine throw, and it's third down, so I bet we're going to throw and I can let it roll. I'm right. This is another tricky play. Okay, Johnny Wilson at the top of the screen. Right here, he's winning, right? If a wide receiver is even, he's leaving. So in this particular case, he's not even. He's past number 41, that cornerback. Throw that ball downfield and get the big chunk. Now, I understand that it's a big target. You want to utilize the fact that it's a big target. You want to leverage it. I also understand that it's 3rd and 5, and you just want to get the ball past that stick. This is an accurate back shoulder throw. Makes it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. It's a pirouette. It's out away from the body. Like, that's a tough catch, and it really good job by Wilson to make that catch. If the ball's upfield, give me a replay. There we go. If the ball's upfield, as you can see, Wilson's winning. He's running away. So just put that ball over the top, and rather than making him make this very athletic, acrobatic kind of catch, go upfield. Get the extra yardage. So that's a good throw, not a great throw. Burrow had a very similar one earlier in the game. I graded it the same way. Here, a nice little routine throw to A.J. Dillon, Boston College Eagle. We love it. And another little slant, really nice stop there by 41. He impressed me during the game watching it live. Don't know his name, don't know his story, but number 41, Cooper, he showed he has some bounce as a receiver. I mean, look at this. Bang. As soon as he hits the ground, he's going the opposite direction. That's pretty good. Here we get a nice throwaway. I mean, like, the play is blown up. Somebody missed their protection, right? Watch again. 53 is completely unblocked. One of these guys has to at least chip 53 just to buy a little time on the bootleg. If 53 is chipped for even a little second, I think Johnny Wilson missed the chip. Then you can get into the bootleg and get a high-low read with A.J. Dillon. But, alas, it's okay. Nice routine throw. Little Smith, 82. He's open. I don't know who the hell he is. And McKee finds him. Right? It doesn't get much easier than a slant from the slot right across the middle. McKee reads it out perfectly, though, and delivers an accurate ball. And that's all you can ask for. Routine, but clean as hell. Remember that guy, Little Smith? Well, he made a nice punt return after a 3-and-out by the Bengals. So now suddenly that last drive is not the last drive. And the Eagles have another chance to put a touchdown on the board. Nice little routine throw to Dillon. Right? We're in the hurry-up, so it's all going to be passing. And then there's that 41 kid again. Really nice ball. I graded this as elite, right? Line of scrimmage is the 20. Relatively clean pocket. Maybe a little difficult to step into it, but that ball is striped, perfect spiral, perfect velocity, right on the money between two defenders. That is an elite pass. And right there, everybody thought Tanner McKee's day was done. But I guess Nick Sirianni wanted to rub it in the Bengals' face a little bit more. All right. I think this is McKee's last drive, but it starts off poorly, right? He's looking to the wrong side of the field. 21 does a really nice job in zone, passing off his slot receiver and coming out onto 41, who has established himself as Tanner McKee's favorite target by this point in the game. At the top of the screen, everything's wide open, right? You got the curl right over the middle. You got the curl on the outside. Both of those got some room. Would love to see that ball come out quicker. Would love to see McKee read that side of the field first, but alas, just a good play by the defender. McKee bails out of the pocket and throws the ball away. This is a slightly below average play. Got to get through your reads a little quicker, but to get all the way from the bottom left all the way to the top right on a quick curl concept is really, really tough and a lot to ask for. So I'm not going to rate it negatively or anything, just pretty average. Speaking of pretty average, that's a routine throw, but it is, once again, placed perfectly, and that's a good play. This Cooper kid continues to impress, creating lots of separation, and McKee continues to impress, putting tight spirals on face masks. That's what you want to do. Here, 1st and 10, everything available to you, so they're going deep. And they can't go deep because McKee is being swallowed. This is a no-fault sack, absolutely no sweat. Routine, nothing to talk about. And on 3rd and 15, slightly less routine, I guess, but it's like a 10-yard throw on 3rd and 15. Routine. After a roughing the snapper call, the Eagles are going to get 4th and 2, and McKee converts. Nice job to extend the play a little bit, rolling out to your right, right? It wasn't necessary, but he took a little step, changed the arm angle a little bit, fit the ball in there nicely. It's routine with a plus movement. I like it. And here we put a little bit more velocity on the ball, throw it down the field. That's solid as hell. Again, perfectly placed. Not the most difficult read, wide open, but it's hard to knock a guy who keeps on making accurate throws to proper receivers. Routine little slant. Missing in the back of the end zone. That ball was just a little too high. I think 82 flattened off his corner route a little bit too much. Yeah, I wish I had the all-22 so I could draw it up easier. But basically, this is the line that the receiver took, and this is the line that McKee thought he was going to take. And that just means that the ball was a little overthrown. It's probably a bad route by the receiver. He's supposed to be running that back pylon, not the middle of the end zone on the boundary. But this is what happens when you play with third stringers, right? That ball's actually not that poorly placed. It's actually a pretty decent throw. It's just the receiver ran a really messed up route. Janky route. Overall, I thought Tanner McKee played excellent, and not by doing anything exciting or like crazy. It was mostly just by playing within himself. He made good decisions. He was accurate with the ball. I mean, he only had like 2 bad throws the whole game. That's pretty incredible. And one of them was caught, right? It was a jump ball to Johnny Wilson that I just thought was too low to be safe. Tanner McKee makes really good pre-snap decisions. And when you have great wide receivers like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, that's all you need. When you have a great offensive line, you don't need to be that mobile, and you get a little bit more time to make those post-snap decisions that McKee struggles with a little bit more. I don't think that Tanner McKee is going to raise your level or elevate your team, but I think that he can kind of maintain what's around him. And I don't think that Jalen Hurts does anything more than that. In fact, I think Jalen Hurts actually limits the Eagles' offense a little bit. So you have to account for all like the intangible things, like the team believing in Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts being, a tough, excellent leader. But if Jalen Hurts were to miss time, God forbid, I don't think the Eagles get any worse. And in fact, I think they get better on offense. I mean, Tanner McKee even proved in this game, they're not missing much with the tush push. Like, yeah, Jalen Hurts is really strong, but most of the tush push is just your offensive line getting a little bit of push. Hence the push. I think the Eagles are in a really good spot. And frankly, I think if they were really smart, they'd start shopping Jalen Hurts. I know they won't, but if McKee ever gets into a regular season game, I expect pretty big things out of the Eagles. A Super Bowl team with an excellent roster getting better at quarterback, that could be really exciting. What do you guys think? Go through the plays. Do you disagree? Which play do you disagree on? Do you love Jalen Hurts? I don't care. Please don't comment. Otherwise, like, subscribe, give me encouragement so I can keep making these videos. If nobody cares, why waste the time? But until next time, I'm going to be grinding preseason film. Hasta.